Yo, 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 it's the Flop and Groper again, and today I'm going to make a quick video on the trumpet pattern and how to draw patterns in the intraday price action because the VWAP has us put in this mindset where we're taking every day as its own unique challenge, right? It's giving us opportunities left and right, and we're no longer frothing at the mouth over one particular day. We want to be able to take each day bit by bit. And what I've noticed, at least with the Bitcoin charts, is a lot of trumpet patterns. Is for every consolidation, there's a trumpet that fans out and gets more volatile. And so I want to talk about these trumpet patterns, and I want to talk about how I draw my trend lines on my chart while I'm scalping with the VWAP. So, the first thing I want to talk about is I just want to draw like this trumpet pattern here. So, what it looks like is it's just a pattern that has higher highs and lower lows at the same time. So let's say the price comes up and we're doing this kind of motion here. You see this here? So think about the psychology of this move. Um, what's happening is think about these levels that get broke. When you create this higher high, you stop out the people who shorted from this point and you get them to flip bullish, right? Because this is a breakout in a traditional chart pattern kind of mentality. If you're a traditional chart pattern guy, this looks like a breakout trade. But no, you get the crash down to what becomes a lower low, and those people get wrecked. And this is a meat grinder for an inexperienced trader or like I guess a traditional chart pattern trader. And the psychology of what's happening here is it's just price discovery. The price doesn't know where it needs to go, so it needs to experiment with increasingly volatile levels before it can decide which direction it's going to go into. And so this has the effect of squeezing a lot of people out of the trade or chin checking a lot of people who maybe aren't taking profit on the trade and flushing the market and allowing true price discovery to happen if the traders don't know what an asset's supposed to be worth. So the trumpet pattern is a great pattern to trade. It's a great pattern to understand, and it's kind of the opposite of the traditional symmetrical triangle pattern where you'll see the price come up like this and it'll ping around like this. And it comes to a consolidation, and in the last 30% or so of that triangle, then you'll get the breakout either up or down right there. But what happens a lot these days with these triangles, and we saw this during the ETF decision, is you'll get a break and then you'll get the flush, and like they'll get all those longs will get stopped out, and then you'll get the real move. Or like it could, continue down, and look, you just got a double top. And so these patterns are like the symmetrical triangle pattern is increasingly becoming a harder pattern to trade because there's so many fake tests and checks that happen. What I've noticed in the Bitcoin markets these days, I actually like to trade these trumpet patterns, and because I instinctually have faith at the darkest moments when I could feel in my heart that people are flopping and groping. I love making bets at those times on the market, or whether it's people, places, or things, anything that looks promising, like it's on the way up, but it has a setback like this. It's like a faith test, and so I love to buy in at these painful lows, and I also like to look for like bear divs and short scalp opportunities when we get to the top range like this too. Um, so I love the trumpet pattern for trading, and I'm gonna tie both of these patterns into like what's been happening around the VWAP here. So now that we covered the trumpet pattern, um, like what I want you guys to start doing is take each day, day by day. So here is your daily reset, and let a couple moves play out. So I'm gonna grab my Ray tool here, and I'm gonna connect. Let's say we'll connect this low to this thing right here, and then we'll connect this thing to that thing right there. And so you get this projection at 1, 2, 3, and as soon as you start to creep back up, you all you need is the 3 points here. Or okay, it's 1, 2, 3, 4. You got the 4 touches there. So you have this projection as soon as we get a confirmed bottom here. So as soon as this like comes up over the VWAP and gets to about this point, you have all the confidence you need to draw this outward trumpet like projection here for the price action. And you want to compare this to previous days. You know, is this a volatile day or is this a calm kind of day? And you can see that like this move or this day is peanuts compared to like the previous day or like over here in the ETF dump. And so be weary of calm days like this because they tend to end in a bang. When the gropers get lulled into a false sense of security, you'll have the big moves happen at like the end of the trading period. So be wary of low volatility. And you can see like another trumpet pattern over here. So when this day started, we got this projection. It depends like how you drew that, but you know, you could do the bodies or whatever, but you can see roughly like when this low came, that bounced off that bottom range. You got the 1, 2, 3, 4 taps and you create that projection. And if you can catch this like bottom here, that's an insane long scalp back to the top of the trumpet. So the trumpet is an amazing pattern for catching the juiciest scalps. And this is all happening on the intraday level. So I'm not thinking about the overall down channel here or like the double bottom that happened here. Or like there is a bull div here as well, actually. Like the waves are coming up and the price is coming down. So that's an indication that like that scalp was going to come as well. So the more things you have aligning with you and agreeing with you, the better. But yeah, so we've got 2 days in a row of us playing this trumpet pattern here. And sometimes it violates the trumpet. Like it'll violate one side of the trumpet, but it does still cling to it. Like for instance, like you create this projection on this day, you get this downward projection, right? And usually a downward facing pattern tends to break up, right? So it would make sense that this would break and we get a little bit of play up above, but then the bulls are quickly disappointed again. And look, we actually slipped down to the bottom trend line there almost right before the next daily period begins. And so that day ended in a big upset with a bullish breakout basically failing from the perspective of this downward trumpet here. Let's see. So we'll connect these lows from this point. We'll connect this high we got. Ah, interesting. So this daily range gave us a strange upward facing consolidation, right? So this is more of like a triangle coming to a point and consolidating. This is not a trumpet pattern, but you can still see how the price action creates this pinging back and forth here, and you even get the false breakdown, and then the rebuying back up, and then the real breakdown. Like it's amazing. Pairing the intraday pattern. What's the pattern for the day? Who cares what the overall pattern is? What's the pattern for the day? Because that's what you're going to be trading. And you figure out what this pattern is by that fourth touch. 1, 2, 3, 4. And so that lets the rest of the day is putty in your hands, right? You could like long this line now all the way up, and you could call bullshit on that. You could short at the end here and like call the breakdown because anything that aims up tends to break down. You could have shorted this little dump in here too. This day was that boring day from the class. This was like a boring consolidation. Let's see. Yeah. This was a boring, low volatility consolidation that ended with a breakdown. So you guys are seeing that every day is either a point where we were comfortable with a certain price, but then we had to discover new realms of possibilities, so we fanned out like a trumpet, or we didn't know what the price was worth, and we had volatility at the start, and then the daily period condenses and consolidates to a breakout point. And so hopefully this lesson on intraday patterns and how to draw them on a daily basis and all that was helpful to you. And yeah, so in closing, let's see, let's connect this low there. We got a pretty nasty downside possibility here. We got that top. It seems to me, my read here is that the bulls like definitely put in an effort, and the bulls have been raging with Bitcoin since the ETF. And like if you mess with the bull, you'll get the horns sometimes. You know, most of the time you do. But if the bulls keep disappointing and like we get like stuff like this is just like a triple top. Like this makes you want to short back down to the bottom ranges, like these levels and stuff. And so we might have to come back up to the VWAP from this point forward. But the bulls really just continue to like disappoint, and they need to kick online if this 2 hour money flow is going to play out. So still waiting on that to play out. It looks like the money flow is coming back down. And on the short time frames, a lot of a lot of long scalps where you really definitely needed to take the profit there because the next move that played out wasn't necessarily a better long. Like this doesn't like bounce off and give you that second follow through. And so yeah, it seems to me like it's still, you know, a sideways to bearish kind of market. And just by the VWAP and the way this pattern is playing out, where like the bulls failed, and so see we got to go back down to the bottom ranges. And I don't know how far this pattern will go. We got the new daily candle coming soon, so it'll be a new game with a new pattern and a new set of rules. And so we'll have to take it day by day, minute by minute. But hope you guys have a good one, and make sure you like and subscribe. And I'm really not concerned too much about my own growth because I know that the right people are listening. My students are tuning in, and I know the process. I've seen my brother do it. I helped my brother do it. And I actually love being underrated, and I love being your special little gem in the crypto space of knowledge that only you know. And so keep me in your toolkit. Keep this knowledge as your special, unique torch in the dark, and inspire the people in your world through your trading, and become a better trader, better man. And we're going to figure this shit out, guys. We're going to hit the mark, and we are going to embody that VWAP mentality.